it's like just starting makes me feel nervous because it's like, you're putting this thing on the wall that you can't really take off.
Hello and welcome back to our office renovation series. What do we have going on today?
We're redoing the walls, I think. We're gonna try to do that.
So this is probably the most technical part of this project. So we're probably getting a little ambitious, but we will see how it goes. We're going for like what is it called? Kind of a modern Venetian plaster type of situation.
Yeah, it's like modern, kind of rustic, you see it a lot in like Italy and...
But yeah, anyways, we're just gonna get started. So here is our blank canvas today, folks. We will be doing some very technical plastering on these walls. Good news is, like we said in our first video, if you haven't watched that, check it out below. But these walls are very old, very limey, very bumpy, crumbly. Our house was built in the 40s, so it's old. So we decided to start with this room so that if it goes bad, we can just think back to all the lines, all the crumbles, how bad the walls are anyways. So, nothing to lose. What kind of odds do you think we have?
The odds are that the amount we got won't actually cover the entire thing.
Are you pretty confident in your abilities to put this plaster on?
I feel pretty confident that we can get it on. I'm a little nervous. I think we'll be pretty happy with how we can make it look. I'm just, it's like just starting makes me feel nervous because it's like, you're putting this thing on the wall that you can't really take off. No, it'll be good. We're gonna make this look good. And even if it is like not that perfect, it'll be, I think, what we want anyways. It's just kind of that like charm that we're gonna add to the room, so.
So how's this going for you?
I don't know. It feels like the material is really nice to work with. It goes on nicely, but I'm just not really sure if I'm like putting it on too thick or too lightly. So I don't think it'll look bad, but I don't know. So we'll see.
No, let's slow down the speed. We got time.
All right, what do you got here? Looks like you've totally got that first coat on.
Covered the wall. Yeah, looks great. There's a few parts that you can kind of see that we didn't get too even. I think that's just like our lack of skill here, but overall I think it looks good. Obviously there's a few like rough things that will get smoothed out over in the second coat. But now we're just kind of letting it dry.
So now we just gotta let this dry and we'll probably pick this up in a day or so.
So we're doing the other walls today. Yeah, we got to take some of the light switches and plates off the wall.
What you doing here? Some destruction?
Yeah, this is like some sort of old security system type thing, I guess, that would maybe sense if the window is open or not. But hasn't been used, obviously doesn't work, so we're just gonna pull all this type of stuff off the wall because we want it to be nice and smooth.
So we're just gonna install the light on our ceiling, which will be good to have because we've just been kind of working with these random lamps.
We need to be good time. Oh no, not me. I'm in no hurry. I'm a slow and steady man.
So we realized we're gonna have to patch a lot of these holes that there's a lot of plates that were just plain and some actually had holes behind it. This one is just kind of flat, but yeah, so we're just kind of throwing some joint compound on there. Not sure if that's really the right thing, but seems like it'll maybe do the trick. All right, so today is a new day and welcome back to our plastering extravaganza. Where we last left off, we plastered one wall, and now we need to plaster 3 other walls.
For you to worry, we got time, time, time. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. Turn the heat down and cool it. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. Turn the heat down and cool it.
All right, so we just finished this wall back here. It's looking pretty good. I didn't feel as good about the whole process today, and I think it's because this wall back here had some like ridges and bumps that, so it was just a little bit more uneven to begin with. So it didn't really go on as smooth as I was hoping, but I think eventually we got it smoothed out pretty nicely. So yeah, all 4 walls now have 1 coat. And then we got to go back and do the second coat, which is just kind of like a final smoothing kind of coat. So should be good. There's the color difference again. As you can see, it goes on pretty dark. And then we're just kind of going with this light kind of beige gray color. So yeah.
So we went to Home Depot today and found some of the tools we needed. One was kind of just one we had to find that ended up working, so we'll kind of see, but...
Yeah. This is like not really, I don't think, used for the way we're gonna use it, but it's really small and really thin, so hopefully we can get into that crack that we're getting into, and then we just got like a bucket scoop and another little kind of 4-inch little nail thing, so.
So yeah, so we're gonna just try to work on the last coat here, and we'll see how far we get tonight, but yeah.
If you wanna make something last, it takes time, time, time. Overheat and you'll burn out.
So I just said a bunch of stuff, but it was on
Nothing.
time lapse.
It was on nothing.
She wasn't recording, which is great. So we're putting the second coat on right now. This is just kind of all clicking in my head right now. Like when we were putting the first coat on, I was really kind of unsure still. I'm not sure if we did this correct, but when the second coat goes on, like, and you really compress it in, it just kind of like clicked in my head that this is like, oh yeah, this is the right way. It'll be really interesting to see this when it's dry, but it'll probably take quite a few hours to dry fully. But that's the other thing. We watched the video and the guy said, do it from dry to wet. And I kept working it from wet to dry, because naturally you're kind of like, oh, I'm working towards the area I need to go, but you need to work back to the area you were, because when you put it on at first, you put a lot of material on, so then you can kind of keep scraping it, and then it gets thinner and thinner and thinner, so it blends really nicely into what you just did. But if you go this way, you just put a big glob in the stuff that was already smooth. You already made this really nice and smooth. You put a big glob on it. Now you gotta start working your way back this way, because you made marks and stuff, versus if you work your way in, you can feather it in really nicely. So another just like, wow, mind blown, like type of technique. It's just the smallest things that like make it the difference. So we will link the guy below. He has a lot of videos on plaster and everything, so.
No time, time, time. Oh no, not me. I'm in no hurry. I'm a slow and steady ride.
Here it is, the first wall.
Oh, don't you see? It's still so early. We got time.
Okay, it's been a little while. We had an issue with our plaster. The buckets we got to the very bottom of it, and they say it's pre-mixed, but it wasn't mixed all the way. So at the end of the bucket, there was pure white plaster, and so we couldn't use it because it would have been, white going on a colored wall. So we had to kind of ask their support, figure out how to like get some more plaster. So we got 2 smaller buckets of plaster, and they just arrived. So we've been waiting for like over a week for this whole thing. So we are excited to finish the next 2 walls, and then we'll be done with all the walls. All right, just finished the last wall. There it is. So feeling pretty good. All the walls are done. I have a big mark on my face. So yeah, now we just gotta wait for them to dry, and then we'll give you guys kind of the final look. But here it is wet. So obviously that's not what it looks like dry, but yeah. So we'll maybe give you a final look tomorrow, and then it'll be time to decorate.
Nafunga kumusha.
So that wraps up the second part of our office renovation series. We are very excited with how it turned out.
I know we enjoy watching other home renovations, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe, because we are not quite finished with the office. We have decorating to do, and we gotta move all our stuff back in, so stay tuned for the final reveal.
Thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.